So first thing, let's talk about leaves, alright? They're everywhere. One second. These bad boys are everywhere, alright? Without these things, we won't be able to breathe. So I think it's important to study about them. So the first thing is we're gonna learn how to look at leaves in a microscope, because it's important to understanding what makes a leaf so special, right? Because they are what gives us oxygen, and they are what takes our carbon dioxide, and without plants, frankly, we wouldn't be alive today. So yeah. So first off, I'm going to show you a leaf, right? So there are a few parts to a leaf, right? So there is a leaf base, which is obviously like just a base होता है ना, जैसे इसका base है देखो. For example, ये जो chalk नहीं है, इसका भी base है जैसे, वैसे ही leaves के भी base होते हैं. And a petiole, right? Petiole is a complicated Greek word, right? So I'm not going to scale with them. I'm just going to do what I do, which is try to find the word origin. So this guy is called the little foot. Why would we call the little foot, or like the stem? Because this is the stem between the base and the leaf itself. This is the middle area, I would say. Do you hate the chalk sounds? Because personally, I can't stand them. I am so sorry for my handwriting, guys. I hope you guys can keep along. And now we have leaf margin. Alright, so this is the actual leaf itself, the thing that gives us oxygen. So basically, it's like our source of life. And now, I hope you guys know what longitudinal transverse sections are. If you don't, then I'm going to explain it. If you do, then I'm going to still explain it. So yeah. So a transverse section, right? Transverse basically means that we're cutting across it. Because trans means across, right? And longitudinal means we're going to cut it like this in a longitudinal lengthwise way. So I hope you get it, right? We are cutting it like this in the longitudinal section if we want one, and we are cutting it like this if we want a transverse section. So abhi ke liye, consider an experiment that I'm doing. I'm using a transverse section, so I'm going to explain that. In a further video, I can explain how the longitudinal section looks, but right now I'm using the transverse section. So sorry if you guys wanted to see the longitudinal part, because I'll do it in another video, don't worry. Palisade, parenchyma. Alright, so these are the parts. First I'm going to name them and then I'm going to explain exactly what each and every one of them do. Cuticle, upper epidermis, palisade, parenchyma, xylem, airspace, and stoma. Complicated sounding names, super easy to understand once you understand how they all interplay with each other. So first of all, it's a cuticle, right? So cuticle's job is basically to act as a barrier, okay? And this is the upper epidermis, because the leaf itself, even though the layer between a leaf, if we cut this, a piece of this, right, and you see the middle layer, it is like so small that you won't imagine. But this is the intricate structure within that part. It's crazy, isn't it? How nature works. Alright, and in that intricate structure, we have layers. There's the upper epidermis, which is the upper part, the top floor. Like this all is like the compilation of all the upper epidermis as the top layer, right? And then in the middle is the palisade, and then in the middle is the xylem. And from the xylem, I think you guys should know that xylem se pani aa jata hai. Water is what is transferred through the entire leaf from the xylem, and this water is very important for a few functions. I mean, obviously you guys know how photosynthesis works, right? So since water is used in that, and that water is transferred all the way from the roots. Filhal we have cut this, but you can just imagine this one full on plant. Then from the bottom, water is transferred all the way till here, and that water is used in photosynthesis, right? And then there are air spaces in between. Why use air spaces, you ask? These air spaces, which is a good question, and that is very important because the gases that form in this case are going to leave through the stoma. They're going to be formed in the palisade mesophyll, because the palisade mesophyll is where the majority palisade and the mesophyll layers are where the majority of photosynthetic reactions occur. And those reactions obviously release the beautiful oxygen that we have been talking about for so long. And this oxygen is released through these air spaces, right? And guess what else is also released, guys? Water via transpiration. Because water over here gets turned into vapor, right, due to the sunlight. I mean, look outside. It is like there is so much sunlight, right? So what's going to happen is the water all the way that comes from the roots all the way up until here is going to escape through these leaves via transpiration, because it is going to evaporate, right? And because the water is lost, water also comes inside. It forms a, how do I say it, a straw-like motion basically, right? Where water escapes through the leaves and water at the same time is pulled up via transpiration pull from the roots. Alright? I know it's a lot, and this is my first time trying to do something like this, so even I'm a little unsure, but I'm trying to do this. Please do give me feedback guys in the comments. And so palisade and mesophyll are the layers that perform the photosynthesis itself. The upper epidermis's job and the cuticle's job is to make sure nothing escapes through the upper epidermis. That's their job basically. And the lower epidermis's job is to make sure that water and oxygen can leave through, which are the gases we don't need. Water we want to leave through this to create that strong motion of transpiration pull. Oxygen, apparently, coincidentally, we need oxygen to breathe. They don't need oxygen, so the way we release carbon dioxide, they release oxygen. And because the carbon dioxide we release is used by these guys, so this is also where the carbon dioxide also comes through. And since we don't want anything escaping from here, so then we keep this upper epidermis and the cuticles, we seal the plant effectively. And do you guys know that over here, the stoma also selectively opens. We can't have the stoma open all the time. Or now we lose all the avoided gases we need, right? One of the carbon dioxide that we absorb for the plant, which plant needs in photosynthesis, is going to escape through the stoma, right? And since we don't want this, right? So what's going to happen is we have guard cells right next to the stoma that open and close it selectively using energy. So okay, I hope I am making sense. I hope I'm showing how all of these things are related to the function rather than just bombarding you with information. So I think that's all. Thank you.